He's going to have to hold the plate. Thank you very much. You're going to be trembling in your shoes because they told me I was giving a keynote address. And what they probably didn't understand is I'm a classroom teacher. That means 50 minutes to the second. And at NYU, our classes meet once a week for an hour and 40 minutes, so settle in. I'm kind of concerned about this because I'm between you and dessert. And somebody has to take this and hold it for me. Thank you very much. I, like everybody else who's receiving these awards, is deeply honored to be here tonight. And I understand I'm getting the Real Food Innovator of the Year award too. Is that? I don't know what that's kind of nice. And I'm particularly honored to be here with everybody else who's receiving these awards. And all of us are, we do what we do because we think it's the right thing to do. And it's really incredible to be recognized for it. As a professor at a university, I teach courses and I get to do whatever. I've been there so long that I get to do whatever I want. And I teach courses in food advocacy and in food policy. And the students that I'm teaching this semester, I want them to go out into the world and do exactly what my fellow awardees and everybody in this room is doing to try to change the food system into something that's healthier for people and in the planet. And the United States Healthy Food Healthful, more grammatical, Food Council. I think the real part of it is really important, and Lawrence didn't make nearly a big enough fuss about it. It's REAL. The R is for responsible, that diet should provide nutritional benefit. The E is for Epicurean, food preparation should enhance the quality of the diet you're eating that tonight. A is for agricultural, meaning that the foods we eat should come from the safest, highest quality sources. And the L is for leadership to enable better choices. I can't think of anything in that isn't something that I totally believe in. As I understand it, the purpose of the council was to provide leadership based on the premise that food and food service industries need to do a better job of aligning the food that they are making and serving with the nutritional needs and health of the public. Don't we wish? The best example of how not to do that is the Farm Bill, which does everything that it possibly can to make a healthy diet impossible. And it really only takes a glance at today's food system to see what we're up against. As I've often written, the food industry is in a terrible position in this country because it's so competitive. And the American food supply provides, this is my mantra, 3,900 calories a day for every man, woman, and little tiny baby in the country. And that's roughly twice what anybody needs. And what that does is make the food industry really competitive. And then you have Wall Street to contend with. So if your company is publicly traded, Wall Street sits back and twiddles its thumbs and waits for you to report your growth every 90 days. And if you don't, they get really cross. Really, really cross. And the most profitable foods are unfortunately not the ones that are healthiest for people to for people to be eating. The foods with fats, oils, sugar, and high fructose corn syrup taste good to people. But they're not the things that everybody should be eating the most of. So that's what we're up against, and it's an enormous, enormous problem that isn't easy to solve. And the fact that so many people in this room are working on it is really terrific. I want to talk just about, one thing about the food environment that I think we could all try to change, and I was really happy to see the way it got done tonight. And that has to do with portion size. If I had one thing to teach the American public, it would be that larger portions have more calories. It's not intuitively obvious, and I want to tell that story. We have a beginning nutrition class at NYU, and I had a book that came out last year called Why Calories Count. And I asked the instructor for the first year nutrition course if she would ask her students how many calories were in an 8-ounce soda and how many calories were in a 64-ounce soda. And she thought it was a really stupid question, but she agreed to ask it anyway. And just as I suspected, I mean, we didn't expect people to know how many calories there were in a 8-ounce soda, but we did expect them to multiply by 8. The average multiplier was 3. And to me, this is the indicator of the kind of education that we have to do to the American public. I said to the instructor, you got to go back and ask these college students who got into NYU. They may be mathematically challenged, but they're not that mathematically challenged, why they multiplied by 3 and not 8. And she came back and said, they said that 800 calories in a soft drink is impossible. Wow. It's impossible. That's what we're up against. We're up against invisible calories from invisible sugars. And if we want to change the food supply, we not only have to change what we're serving to people, but we also have to change our educational system to try to teach kids about. I think it's too late for adults, but you really, it's better to start with kids. That's why I think what's going on in schools is so important. And the idea that people are going into schools and teaching kids not only what good food tastes like, but also where it comes from and how to grow it is really going to change the food system more than anything else. So we're in the middle of a food revolution, and everybody here is part of it. And it's really exciting for me to be recognized for my work in it. My absolute goal is to train as many people into thinking that if they take action, they will actually get somewhere. And it's really gratifying to me to see our illustrious graduates, and there are several here. You know who you are. And so thank you very, very much. It's really a great honor. Thanks.